Welcome to the Good Sense Soap Co. Soap making channel. I'm Dr. Lonny, and I do have a PhD, but not in soap making. This is actually my hobby business and for retirement. So I hope you enjoy this channel, and I'm going to try to post a lot of what I'm learning about soap making, which may be not the typical soap making that you're accustomed to. I do a lot of logo soaps, a lot of embossed soaps. I'll also do some photo soaps, but I try to be creative as possible. So stay tuned. Click that subscribe button and like this channel, and look forward to you joining my journey with me. So take care. So now that the 3D model is made and the silicone poured, we have um, this mold. In this video segment, we're going to demold this and see what comes out, and then we will follow that up with actually pouring the soap. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to break the mold here. And for those of you who use 3D printers and PLA filament for mold making, I've used different strengths um, from 15A to 30A strength. And this is around 20, 25 maybe strength. I find that the firmer the silicone, the better it is for mold making, because in some of these logos, you have very fine parts of the logo, and you don't want the film or the silicone breaking. Another part is you can kind of see I'm going around. I'm trying to be very careful because this is a very important part of making molds for soap. So here's what came off the 3D printer, as you may recall from the earlier segment of this video. And so this is what comes out. So you'll note that it's, if I can get the video right here, you'll note that it's mirrored. So imagine it's sitting like this, and we're going to pour the soap down. And then when you demold it, it will have that mirrored effect. So that's how it comes out. And you can see that there's a 3D effect in there, and that's what's going to create that embossed look. Now, because I may not be able to show it really well when I'm actually pouring the soap, you can see the indentation. So when I pour the top layer of the soap, remember when I'm demolding it, the bottom is the top. So when I'm pouring that top layer, which is typically a white soap, I'll fill it up to that line. And then I'll scrub that down so that this top layer is showing, and I'll do my top layer of soap, and that's how you get that color showing through. So that's coming next. Stay tuned. All right, so we're back in the garage and we're gonna pour some soap into this mold. So a couple things on the soap that I'll be pouring. I'm going to be using a white melt and pour base for the top layer, and I use a microwave to warm it up. And for this first layer, I like to keep it pretty hot, typically in the 160 degree range, so that it flows more freely in the base of the mold and fills all of the little crevices and things like that. I also like to make that initial base as hard as possible, so I'm experimenting a little bit with adding some beeswax. So this is white beeswax pellets, and I will melt that and infuse that with the white soap. Of course, you do have to keep it hot for that. There's still some debate on whether doing the beeswax is okay or not to use in the white soap. So I'm still experimenting with that, but my goal is to get as hard of a top layer as possible so that it doesn't break when I demold it in those little crevice pieces. And you'll see what I mean when I demold it. So we're going to go ahead and heat this up and pour it. I'll be right back. All right, so I've turned the camera around and I've melted my white base, and I've put some melted beeswax pellets in there and try to get them to mix as best possible. And that's part of the problem with putting beeswax. We'll put some alcohol in the mold just so it spreads a little easier, and then I'm going to just pour it up to about up to the base of that, and then I'm going to just make sure that all, like that bee there, I want to make sure that everything is filled, because if it's not filled good, then when you demold it, it will break out. So that is that. You can see I got a little thing going there. Okay, I'm going to pour a little more, put a little more alcohol on there, and then we're going to let that firm up, and then I'm going to layer that with some red soap so that it will come through those the blue outline areas that will be visible with red. So we'll show that here coming up. The next step before pouring the soap is to clean off the excess soap from the mold, and I use this sponge and hot water to do that. So because I can't hold the video and do this, I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've cleaned off the soap, and you can see the mold showing through, or the blue is there, and that's important when you pour the next layer. You want the color from the next layer to show through when you demold it. All right, so for the next layer, I'm going to use this red soap, and this is clear, not clear soap, but yeah, clear soap like this, glycerin-based melt and pour soap that I've infused with mica. I put some jojoba oil in there, and I created a block using this mold, and so I've been using from that block. So colors that I will use a lot of, I will go ahead and make a block of that soap so I don't have to make it up for every batch. And then I'll add scent to it as I'm making the soap. Okay, so I've melted that block of red soap and melted it in the microwave. 142.
that's a little low. It will start setting up a little fast on me. I really like to put it in when it's maybe mid 140s, 145-ish for adherence and flow. So I'm going to go ahead and zap that for about 5 seconds, and we're going to come back with the pour. All right. So I put it in there for about 10 seconds, and it's still in the lower 140s, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and stir it up. One thing I like to do is use ample isopropyl alcohol. I use 99%. And then we'll go ahead and pour this first layer. Actually, we'll just go ahead and fill it up. We'll do this as a 2-pour soap. Sometimes I'll do multiple layers. Put a little more alcohol on it. And we'll let that set up before we demold it, and we'll be back with the demolding. All right, so it's time to demold, and you can see the coloring through the mold. Isn't that cool? Now, the risk of demolding is that some of the smaller spots, like that dash there, maybe part of the eye or the ear, maybe the asterisk, sometimes those will break off, which is why I put the beeswax in the top layer of the soap to try to harden it a bit. So we're going to go ahead and demold it and see how it turns out. I'll be right back.
Okay, so let's go ahead and finish where we started. And we're going to go ahead and demold this soap now. And if all goes well, there won't be any breakage. So I like to really be careful with this step. Now, all of my soaps are handcrafted one by one like this. So obviously this process doesn't lend itself to, production type work, but it's very satisfying, and I think I really enjoy it. So that's the final product, and I think it turned out pretty good. What do you think? Um, let's see. I think we did lose the eye right there, but the dash stayed intact, as did the asterisk. Um, but I think the rest of it turned out pretty good. I could darken the white, which I think would hide. You can see just a little bit of the red coming through right there. I think I could darken that white so just a bit. But I like the white because it really highlights the color behind it. The other thing I could do, just playing around a little bit, is I could color this yellow inside the circle. Um, and if I really want to get fancy, I could do the hat red, I could do inside the cheeks, I could do brown, more like the logo. But that's a lot more detailed work. So we try to make it into a 2 or 3 pour, but if you start coloring every part of that, then obviously it can be a 6, 7 pour soap, which would take a lot of time as well. So, and then I just noticed too that E down there, that broke off as well. So that's why I try to make the top layer harder so it doesn't break off. Still refining and perfecting so that if Buc-ee's chooses to carry these in their stores, I can reproduce it more dependably. But if you have any thoughts or comments or questions on making this soap, or if you have a logo that you would like to have made, let me know. I'd love to talk to you and share your thoughts and learn from those who maybe have had more success with some of this or have done it a little differently than what I have. But I enjoy doing this. I hope you do too, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, and you're on YouTube, press like and subscribe and follow. If you're on any of the other social media channels, I'd appreciate it if you could follow me, and will help to grow this account. So take care, and thanks for watching.